Hi Flosstube! Welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Monday, January 31st. I just finished having lunch and I wanted to get on here and record an update before I go back to work. I don't have much of a life update today. The weather was really nice this last weekend, so I spent some time outside and did not get around to recording a video, which is why I'm here today. But we are expecting some colder weather this week, so that will be nice to get some more snow and have it feel like winter for a bit longer. I do want to thank all of you for your very thoughtful, kind comments on my last regular update. I'm not very good about replying to comments right away, but I do read them as they come in, and I just felt a lot of support from you guys, and I really appreciate just your kind words. So thank you for that. Today I'm going to go through the projects I worked on in January, and then I will announce the winner of the giveaway, and then I'll tell you my plans for February and some other projects that I've been working on. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the main project that I wanted to work on in January was Millennium by Teresa Winsler. Because I've decided that in 2022 I'm going to make sure I work on projects at least once in the month that I had started them in. So I started this in January passed, and I wanted to make sure I got it out. So here's the cover for it. And I don't remember like how many days I worked on it or anything like that, but I feel like I got some good progress on it. So it's still, I moved the Q-snap, but it's still in the Q-snap now. Hopefully I can show you where it was. And then this is where I am now. Oh, I have a light here, but I'm worried it's too bright. That's a little better. Okay, so let me tell you first what this is stitched on, if I can find it. You'd think I'd have these things memorized by now, but I gotta look at my list. So this is stitched on 28 count Jobelan in the color Stormy Gray. And hopefully you can see the before picture, but mostly I worked through the sky up around what will be one of the angel wings over there. And then I decided to go ahead and get started on the archway that's here, which was exciting for me because it makes the sky feel a little less daunting knowing that this is the edge. And there is a mistake in here somewhere, but since this is all just kind of open space, as long as the outline of the planets is fine, and as long as this thing is fine, I think it'll be okay. I'm not going to stress about it. It's easy to fudge in these blues. And normally I would try to find my mistake and then mark it and either fix it or just like not count from there again. I couldn't even find it. The blues are too similar. There's a lot of blends. But yeah, that's my progress. And I'm mostly thrilled about this because if I do get tired of stitching the sky, I now have a pretty good anchor for moving up or sideways from here. So yeah, when I stitch this one, I try to think about what I can do to help my impact on the earth and the environment. And this year, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it on this channel before, but this fall we decided to install irrigation into our yard, and because there was none before, and we were spending a lot of labor and time dragging a sprinkler around to keep the grass alive. And so we decided to keep a small patch of grass in the backyard and got sprinklers for it. But for the front yard, we ripped out the entire front lawn and laid down what will soon be a drip system. And so this spring, I'm going to start planting a garden out front instead of having a lawn. So we'll have a mix of native plants and drought tolerant plants, hopefully a lot of pollinator plants. So I feel like that's my big project for this spring and this year really is turning my front lawn into more of a garden for birds and butterflies and bees. And that's a big step for us. And we live in basically the suburbs outside of Denver, so it's pretty standard for people to have grass out front. But more and more people are putting down landscaping rocks and having nothing. So this is kind of our compromise between those two extremes. But anyway, when I was stitching on this, I was also thinking about what kind of plants I want to put out there. So very exciting project for me, and yeah, still enjoying working on this. It is kind of complicated. There's some quarter stitches and counting can be tricky, and there's also lots of blends, but when I'm in the mood for it, I really enjoy it. So, yeah. Okay, other than that project, I just kind of pulled what seemed seasonal to me. So one thing I worked on was winter cardinals, and I'll show you. This is my beat up cover sheet. And I'll go ahead and take this out of the coop really quick because I made some good progress on it. At least felt like good progress to me. So hopefully I'm showing you where it was. And then here it is now. So yeah, I feel like I really did do a lot. The page break is like right through here, and I mentioned before that I was working across the page break, which is not my favorite, and then I also had a mistake in here, so it was making counting really, really tricky for me. And so I found my mistake, and I didn't fix it, I just circled it, and then I just did not count from that. And so then as soon as I got more established in the right place, I went back and just kind of filled it in randomly, and there's no way you can tell that there was a mistake in that greenery. So I'm happy with that fix. I'm happy to be through the page break and well on my way on the second page over here. So yeah, I realize that there's a lot to go still, but it feels like it's getting close to a finish. It feels like I have so much done that a finish is achievable without stressing about it. I really don't want to like push for a finish and like hate this project or get tired of it, but it's something I've been thinking about. Maybe a loose goal for this year is finishing that. Mostly because if you look at, I don't have a pin or anything, but I've finished basically from like here over. So there's really not that much. There's still a lot left. And I've got all the back stitching and the greenery still, but I feel like I made good progress on it. And this is one I enjoy working on when it snows especially. So I don't know if I'll put it away or if I'll keep it out just because we are expecting more snow in February and March and probably April. But we'll see. This is on, this is a Dimensions kit. It's on the kit fabric, which I believe is 16 count Dove Gray Aida. And then I'm using all of the kit floss, but I'm adding just one strand of blending filament to the white part of the snow. So yeah, I'm at a point where maybe I'll rotate between starting the male cardinal and the greenery, or maybe I'll just keep pushing through the greenery. We'll see. I can envision this one in a frame and on my wall, so I would like to finish it. And it is one of my oldest whips too. What else did I work on? Oh, one other project that I said I wanted to pull out was my Mill Hill kit, because I didn't work on it, I don't think at all, in 2020. And part of it's because it's got beads, and so I need to like sit down and be able to have my little, I put the beads from the kit into these little tea tins. This is from David's Tea. I really like David's Teas. So this is just like a leftover tin from one of their sample packs. So I put the color and the symbol on the outside of it, painter's tape, and then I've got the beads in there. So when I open this up and have it out, I gotta have a place to like sit it. And I've got dogs, I've got a cat. I just really have to be able to focus to work on it. But I also want to work on it, so I just made time to do it, which is something I've been trying to be better about with all of my stitching, and all of my like me time is just making time for it, so then it's not stressful. It's just my time. I can just work on it at my own pace. So this is called Country Church. It's a Buttons and Beads Christmas Village Mill Hill kit. So hopefully I can fit a picture next to it, but I made some pretty good progress. I worked on the tree. I had a mistake in the tree, and so I found it, I circled it, and then I just counted around it. So the tree is basically done, I think, from like here down, including the beads. There might be 1 or 2 beads missing up the top. And then the church also is beaded and stitched all the way to this window. And this window I've started the beading on but haven't finished. And I had a mistake in here too, but this one I had to cut out because this is where the door is supposed to start, and I had stitched straight across here. So I think I worked on this window and this window mostly. But yeah, this is fun. I like beading. It's different. It's enjoyable when I can sit down and do it. One thing I'm not sure about is the snow. These are all... The snow is just cross stitches, but you can see in the preview that they carried their stitches, and you can see it through the paper. So I'm wondering, I'm definitely going to do the clouds, but I'm wondering if I'm going to do the snow. I just don't like that you can see the... Maybe I'll do beads instead and use like this same color thread so you can't see it as well, but we'll see. I've got plenty more to work on without deciding that. It makes me want to do more buttons and beads kits, but I also recognize that I'm struggling to make time for this one, so I'm probably not going to start another one until at least that one's done. Okay, I also didn't plan on working on this one. When I made these plans to stitch in like the birthday month of the project, I didn't initially include full coverage because I've got 2 full coverage pieces, and I feel like if I'm in the mood for that, I just want to work on it without any rules. But I'll talk more in my plans about how that maybe isn't going to work. So I ended up pulling out Fright Night from Artisy. Show you the cover. Maybe. I've mentioned before I keep like a folder in all of my project bags. I've got my pattern and my cover photo in here. So this is what it looks like. And I'm stitching it in diagonals, and I'm right on this scarecrow's hat. You can't see his face, and he's not going to be in this diagonal, but I'm like right through there. So here it is. Let's see if I can get more light. It's not helpful. Okay. So you can barely see it. Where did it go? I could see it when I was stitching. Okay. Up here is like the very edge of that witch's hat that the scarecrow is wearing. So like his face is right here. So yeah, I actually made pretty good progress on this diagonal from up here. And then I did like a little more loose fill in through there. It's just enjoyable to stitch, especially while watching football. Because I'm doing this diagonal method, this is probably my easiest project. It's on 18 count Aida, and I don't have to think very much because I'm just working with these threads that are already parked, or maybe I'll have to pull 1 or 2 new ones, and I'm just working in this little area. So it's pretty easy to do while I'm watching TV. That's where that one got to. I think that was all of my whips that I worked on, my works in progress. But I also had a new start, and I've seen my new start was a Riola's kit, and it's got that wool acrylic thread, and I've seen people on Flosstube talk about how they just really don't like it, and I get that. Sorry, my window's open and the birds keep going by. That's what I'm looking at. So I have a white owl. It's this snowy owl. And I'm stitching it on, I think it's 14 count Aida. You know, I haven't even put this new start in my little book, so I'm definitely going to have to do that. 14 count Aida in navy. So I'll show you my start, and then I'll talk a little bit about the pattern and the thread, since people seem to have strong opinions about it. Which way is the top? Okay, so here's my start. I only worked on this for a couple days early on in January, and I intended to pull it back out, but I just worked on other stuff instead. So there it is. It's very, I was gonna say earthy colors, but really there's like grays and blacks and whites and creams. It's mostly 2 strands of floss. But yeah, I was initially worried that with the darker fabric there wouldn't be enough coverage, but it's thick. Going back to what people were saying about the wool acrylic threads, I showed in my last video. Let's see, I can show you with these darker ones. They're like fuzzy. They're fuzzy and they're thick, especially with 2 strands, even on 14 count Aida. It's kind of tough to get them through in full spots. And because of that, my crosses are not the tidiest. And I can see how that would annoy a lot of people. But for me, because it's an owl and they're supposed to be like feathery, and he's kind of like he's got like a downy state to him or her. She's kind of scruffy anyway. I think that it works for this project. I would not want to use these threads for something like geometrical. It suits the fact that it's a bird and that we're really close up to it. I don't think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, but it's fuzzy, it's dense, and the stitches are not laying real nicely, but the overall effect I think is going to be that it's fuzzy and bird-like, maybe. So I'm not abandoning it. I'm just going to keep using the floss that it came with, and we'll see how it goes. So those are all my projects from January. I've got, let's see, there we go. Okay, so last video I announced a giveaway. I'm giving away this Dimensions stocking kit. This is something I picked up at an estate sale. It's the full kit. So I asked you guys when you take down your holiday decorations, and everyone who entered takes them down way earlier than me. Most people said New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and that's a great time to do it because you have time off and you're at home. A few people said like first week of January or even through the second week of January. We took down all of our Christmas decorations for the most part. Our Christmas lights are still up. They're unplugged, except for my wreath, which is still plugged in on the front porch. But we've been getting snow, and I don't want to get up on the roof with a ladder when it's icy underneath and the roof still has snow on it. So I don't know when that's going to happen. We're supposed to get substantial snow and really cold weather this week, so it might be pretty late into February before we get up there and take those lights down. Anyway, so thank you guys for entering. The winner is, let's see if I can say this, Luann Begala. Hopefully I said that right. And Luann was one of the latest people to take down holiday decorations on January 15th. So in this together. Anyway, I'll connect with you. I'll comment on your comment, and we'll figure out how to get this kit to you. So thank you guys for commenting and for entering. Next, I will share just a quick project that I did in January. I decided that if I'm going to do new starts, I need to have more bags. And I use mostly tote bags, which worked great for when I had like 5 projects. And I was keeping them in a tub, like a big bin, because I knew we'd be moving again. But now that we're in this house and we're planning to stay for a while, I'm moving into more permanent storage solutions. And the tote bags with this many projects, I have 16 whips now with that owl. They're getting a little much. Like for example, it's just a little much, you know, it's got excess fabric, the handles. I'll still use tote bags for sure, but I've decided to transition a little bit more to project bags. I had a ton of fabric left over from, well, I'll just show you them. Okay, so I decided to use a tutorial from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and I made some project bags. So here's one. It's lined. I'm a beginner sewer. So when I made this bag, I learned how to use a zipper foot, and I used interfacing for the first time. And yeah, I'm proud of it for having sewn only like a handful of things. So there it is. I had some fabric from early on in the pandemic when we couldn't get masks, and I couldn't get elastic for making masks. So I had a bunch of fabric, and at that point, the online inventory at Joann's was not great for like each local store. So I would place a big order, and there'd be like 3 of those fabrics in stock. So I ended up with a bunch of random fabrics. So I supplemented a little bit, but mostly these are fabrics that I just had from that. So here's another one that I made. You can see it's got the lining in there, and there's the back. So these don't have anything in them yet, but I'm going to move some projects. And then the last one is this one. This is new fabric that I bought. And yeah, there's the inside of it. So I enjoyed these. It was nice to sew. It was nice to switch it up and do a different craft activity. It makes me want to make more with the fabric I have, and it makes me want to start collecting fabric. These were like the cheap, like calico quilters cotton from the main wall on Joann's, and they were on sale, but it's tempting to go look at the fancier stuff. So I'm gonna try to stick with the fabrics that I have and make some more project bags, but that's where I am. And I'm proud of these 3 bags. Again, it's a learning curve, but I feel like they turned out pretty good. So, okay, last I'm gonna share a little bit of my plans for February. I'm gonna put almost all these projects away, and then I'm gonna pull out some new projects for February so that if I get tired of what I'm stitching on and I want to grab something new, I just grab it from this small selection instead of going in to look at all my whips. So in February, I have 2 projects that I started in February's of the past. I did just say 1, but I decided to work in my full coverage. So my full coverage that I started in a February long ago is from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Mini Birdsong, and I will insert a picture of the cover photo. I'm not going to pull these out because, yeah, it's already at 24 minutes. Get them so they're a little bit closer to me here. So I'm going to work on Mini Birdsong. My other start from a February of the past is Rosewood Manor Spring Quakers, which I'm looking forward to working on this. I think in the past I've said that I wasn't sure the Valdani threads were worth the cost, but the more I work on this, the more I want to purchase and kit up entirely with called for threads other Rosewood Manor patterns, because it is great. It's great to work on the fabric and with the threads, but I'll talk more about that after I work on this in February. So Spring Quakers is coming out. Also coming out in February will be, I think, the hair. This is a kit by Mariska. So yeah, I'll probably pull this out. I think this was a March start, so if I do work on it, it'll be like a 2-month, February and March, so I'm not sure. This might be the last one I pull out. Let's see, so I'll pull that one out. And then the last one that I'm planning to stitch on is my Prairie Year 1 and 2, just the February blocks that I have. I don't know where they disappeared to, so I'm not going to pull them out. But here are the covers. So I'm doing a combination of these. So I'm almost done with this one, and then I have some changes to make on this one. But I'd like to work on both of those in February, just so that I have some February decorations. I don't have anything related to Valentine's Day, so it'd be great to have those out in my office here. So yeah, that is everything that I had to share with you guys. I'm looking forward to another month of stitching, and I'll be back for an update, hopefully at the end of February. So happy stitching. Bye.